Yes, sir. It's Henderson back up in this game, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I never even knew this bitch was famous. When they tossed this bitch on that TV show back in the day, I ain't never heard of her before. Apparently this bitch had already been famous for about 10 years. I'm talking about this bitch Paula Abdul. Now tell me, are you really wanna love? See, she had a catchy ass fucking hook back then. This shit was probably like the biggest song of the year. You know what I'm saying? Back in like 1986. Now I'm gonna play a motherfucking song. What's up, Abster? Now I'm gonna play a song by basically this is probably the first music I ever heard of my damn life. I remember listening to this album when I was just like 3 years old. My motherfucking sisters used to have this big ass speakers and shit even back in the early 90s. And they used to play this album. They used to play this album when I was just a boy. And the album contained this song. And since YouTube is a fucking money-hungry, money-grubbing website, they're going to make me watch a fucking long commercial to even play this song, which is probably going to get this video blocked anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's probably one of the first songs I ever heard in my life. We got Abster right here. We got Kimmy Too Much. Hey, you know who I checked out earlier, Abby, that told me she started watching me because of you? Was that motherfucker Ivana Punch You? And you know what? That girl comes off as being kind of ghetto, kind of gangster, you know what I'm saying? Kind of either trailer trash or gutter trash from the ghetto in the city, maybe. But she came off a little bit hard. Still very attractive. But, you know, it's just that back in the old days, I thought this bitch was even more on the level of a fucking supermodel. This bitch come off looking hard as fuck. She looked like a bone thug. You know who I'm talking about, Abby? And Abby comes off hard as fuck these days, too, sometimes. You know, some of these girls do come off real thuggish and real gangster. But then, you know, these women are hard. These women are always walking around bleeding. And what I wanted to ask is if God created woman, that's Ace of Base, by the way. If God created woman and these bitches just start bleeding randomly, imagine if dudes never would have created panties or underwear, you know, for a woman, even a male can wear it, then the woman would just start bleeding and literally leave trails of blood all over the ground. So what did they do before mankind finally invented a motherfucking maxi pad or whatever the case may be, a tampon, Tampax, pads, whatever the case is, for a woman on her fucking period to drop so much motherfucking blood for the course of maybe 3 to 7 days, 1 to 3 days, whatever the fuck these bitches are bleeding like. And some of them bitches come out here and they miss their periods for a long time. And they're such whores, they don't even know if they're pregnant or not. So they have to wait a week or two feeling this intense fear, talking about, am I pregnant? Am I too much of a whore? Do I have AIDS? Do I have a baby coming, this and that? And they might have to pop out a nasty baby for a guy they don't even give a shit about. Maybe it was a guy they were just totally drunk and decided, hey, I'll go home with this guy because there's nothing else to do literally on a Saturday night. This gross, nasty guy who's got bad genetics and bad breath ends up busting a load in this hoe. She gets pregnant and then decides, I don't want this motherfucker's baby. I don't even know this motherfucker. He has obviously some bad genetics or whatever, but she fucked him anyway because she was drunk enough at the time, I guess. And, you know, now she's got to have this guy's baby. And I know a bunch of these fucking people. It's usually Italians. You have a discussion with them about if a woman gets pregnant, can she have an abortion? And these motherfuckers are a bunch of goddamn Catholic ass motherfuckers, Pope dick sucking lovers. And these Italians always go, no, there should be no such thing as abortion at all. Not even if this woman gets raped. And I said, well, okay, what if somebody rapes your mother? You say, what if somebody rapes your sister, you Italian fuck? And she's supposed to have to go through the whole physical process of having this baby and not aborting the baby at whatever stage. And you think she should go through having her body ruined, and maybe even she dies. A lot of bitches die in childbirth. And this guy's saying because she got raped, she can't just get an abortion because he's supposed to be a Catholic ass Italian motherfucker. And he thinks the bitch shouldn't kill a baby because it's the same as executing a man or putting a bullet in a motherfucker's head, because you actually killed a fetus that wasn't even halfway formed. I mean, we're talking about it maybe a month or two stage, maybe sooner than that. If this bitch ends up getting raped, he's saying she shouldn't even be able to have a motherfucking abortion. I said, bitch, what if somebody raped her and you wanted to have to go through that? What if she dies of childbirth? And this motherfucker looked at me and shut his goddamn mouth, because I said that type of shit about what if she dies in childbirth. Because he's got no response for that. And neither did any of these other Italians. And I did it to this Italian and another Italian over and over again. It was these same Catholic ass motherfuckers, all from back east. And when you put the hard questions to them about what if your sister and mother gets raped, do you want them to be able to abort the baby or not, they try to come off as hard Catholics. Bitch, I always soften up those Catholics. I always soften them up so they look at me with a dumb look on their face and they ain't got shit to say. Of course he wants his sister to get an abortion, especially if he's a little racist and if the guy who raped his sister was actually hypothetically a black man. He's especially going to want her to have an abortion. Then, too, he's not going to say the same shit about, oh, well, the kid might not turn out like its daddy. I mean, just because its daddy was a rapist don't mean it's going to be a rapist. That was his fucking argument. Bitch, what about the woman? The woman is the innocent bystander. They got raped. They got used as a baby-making machine. And now the bitch has to go pop out the baby and maybe even die doing it. Maybe what if the umbilical cord gets stuck or whatever, they got to rip it out. The bitch hemorrhages to death inside of her fucking stomach. Women are always bleeding anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes back to the same question full circle, which was that when a woman gets a fucking period, if there was no such thing as fucking underwear and pads and all that shit, even diapers even, then these women would be bleeding all over the fucking ground. Imagine a time on Earth when all these women were walking around on their period and they didn't have any pants on and they were just bleeding all over the fucking ground. Were they literally bleeding into the grass, into the soil? I mean, did humans even have motherfucking houses back then? And if so, were they bleeding all over the floors of their houses? I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of blood involved in this whole situation. I knew this was the song you were going to play. I had the same experience. It's the only album my mom listened to for years. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Some people just play the same album for years. I mean, that's an interesting atmosphere in this song. Sounds like desert music.
So if you are inside and the day is right, she's the hunter, you're the fox. Gentle voice the talk.
You don't pee or get periods on dialysis. Is it because they're sucking out too much blood anyway? Hey, what's up, Abbott family? Damn, dude, I'm thirsty as fuck. Now, I have to report as well, I actually got some bizarre news. I haven't even really mentally processed this new news yet, but I was talking to Liz, actually, for quite a while. And you know what? Let me actually check my audio on this. Let me actually pull up my stream on my phone and see if the audio sounds good. I don't really have any co-host right now to be able to give me some immediate feedback, but I'm going to tell you that I was talking to Liz for a long time, and the conversation got into a situation where she was actually heavily considering coming back to Anderson Henderson to live with Anderson Henderson, talking about, oh, I'll come to your house and do this and that, or like she was kind of almost fantasizing about it in a way. And but she'll do that sometimes for just a few minutes, and then she'll snap back to being mean and be like, "Hi, she's just joking, this and that." No, this time I could see like she did fall back into it, and I couldn't believe that had happened to where Liz was finally mentally getting back to a situation where she could feel like doing the Liz and Anderson Henderson reunion, which is what I've been trying to get her to do for like over a year now. But it would always almost get ready to happen. Then she gets mad or something and then backs out and doesn't want to do the reunion. Now she was kind of fantasizing about, oh, yeah, what will happen if I come back and live with you? Do I have to get a job, this and that? And I'm like, no, you don't have to get a job. I'm just going to, pay for everything and make sure you're taken care of and comfortable. And you can come back. And you can even have this other guy, Dave, be a part of it, I guess. He could be like, some type of a fucking cameraman or an interviewer. But I needed to recapture the chemistry and the magic that Anderson Henderson had with Liz, stretching all the way back to the year 2020, that made us both stars. I knew even since last year that we needed to recapture that magic to do a big comeback story about Liz and Anderson Henderson and her finally growing up and stop acting like a fucking child. And she was totally getting back into that mindset today. I don't think she likes her current boyfriend. I think that he's busy. Yeah, this is pretty good audio. Yeah, this is decent audio, but basically I was totally convincing Liz to do it earlier. And if I was even a better smooth talker, I could have went through and actually talked her into doing it, maybe even as soon as like tomorrow. I mean, like, I actually had thought about that. I was talking about that with that other motherfucker about how, you know what, just go ahead and tell her I'll come there tomorrow to get Liz to bring her back to do the reunion now. And we'll see what happens in the near future. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen at that point. But it was just, it didn't really get to that point. Once again, Liz pulls back, throughout this happening to where she starts warming up to me again and starts really considering, oh, what will happen if I come back? Starts considering the options, asking me questions, this and that. Then she starts to pull back again. Eventually, she gets pissed off or whatever because I'm rambling on, ranting about something. And she ends up fucking hanging up or whatever, which she does all the time. That's nothing new. But I really think that I had her right on the hook, duckling. And then I kind of pushed her off or kind of pushed her over the edge. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll get her back there. I have always told you that Liz is like a $10 bill. She's predictable. Now, the truth is that Liz has always loved me because I treated her better than any man has ever treated her before. I have a sense of touch that almost no other human has. That's why cats love me so much, because I'm really good at petting a cat. I'm very soft and gentle on cats when I pet them, and that's the same thing that I have that same touch with humans. And Liz never forgot that. Now, like I said, I had her on the hook earlier. What the fuck is this guy asking? I think you're coming back made her dump her 70-year-old boyfriend. I think that, it's hard to give Liz the amount of attention that she wants. She's a young girl. And this bitch is young as shit, dog. I was telling everybody about this deaf girl that I fell in love with in the fucking mental hospital for a couple of weeks. And this bitch was even way older than Liz. I mean, Liz still is the youngest bitch in the game, as far as I know. This bitch Liz is only still 8. She's not even 21 years old yet. The bitch can't even legally drink. She drink a sailor under the table, but she can't legally drink. And, I was actually talking to Liz about that earlier about, Liz, if you came back, this and that, and she was totally open to it. So you could end up seeing the Liz and Anderson Henderson reunion. But the most important thing that could be happening soon is the initial meeting between Anderson Henderson and Abster, who you see on the screen there. I'm trying to work out that meeting with her, but she's so flaky about actually, I guess being able to plan it. But no, Abster's open as well. I've been talking extensively with Abster, about meeting with Abster, to create this chemistry as well. And Anderson Henderson is still actually striving to achieve more exciting content And that's what people want to see the most, is the meetings between the characters in the game that matter the most. Lame, no-name guys that are boring, ugly as hell, Warrior Noodles try to do, and act like you're going to attract some fucking audience or somebody that's actually going to give a shit about watching your internet version of a television show, which is what this is. These are low-budget internet TV shows. That's what every single fucking YouTube channel basically is, about guys that come on here regularly doing this shit. It's a fucking, think of it like this, it's a low-budget fucking internet TV show. That's all it is. It's a fucking soap opera. And some of these people are clowns that come on here and think that you just want to sit there with them and watch them play the fucking banjo. But Henderson has always broadcasted the truth about his life on here, where nobody else is really willing to do that. I come on here and broadcast my real life. That's the reality that you just can't even pay for most of these guys performing in the game. Then a cat comes on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, and he'll have a little start just showing really basic, you know, backgrounds and environments that he's in. What's up, Dorian Gray? Liz could help you with making cringy content for sure, but if you're looking for a real relationship, Abby is a much better choice. Look, dog, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I think we should have Liz and Abby compete for who gets to do this next big meeting, or maybe have them meet with each other together. I'd like to see how they react to each other. They're basically the same type of person, only 10 years apart. Abby's like 30 years old. Liz is like fucking 20 years old. But Liz acts like a fucking 45-year-old. A 45-year-old that's been to prison and been on drugs for half of her life. That's just how Liz's personality is. But I'm not trying to diss Liz. I'm still also trying to talk Liz into coming back to do the Henderson reunion as well. So I'm trying to stay on good terms with Liz, which is very difficult to do, while at the same time staying on good terms with Abster, so that I can still go hook up with Abster, you know what I'm saying, in North Carolina, which is where I grew up anyway. I actually need to go to North Carolina near where Abster lives. She probably lives like an hour away from this fucking place that I was born at. I need to get a duplicate of my mother fucking social security card. Or maybe not social security card, but whatever that other shit is, the birth certificate from the hospital that I fucking was born at. Bitch, I wasn't born in West Virginia, in this fucking poor-ass, corrupt-ass state. I was born in a good state like North Carolina. You know, so... Hey, Dorian, she's awful pretty. You think Dorian's awful pretty? Yeah. But like I said, Abster, I saw that one woman, and this is always what happens too, is this is a good example, is like Charlotte W. I saw a new picture of her on somebody's channel. The bitch don't look anything like that. She looks like a motherfucking supermodel on her YouTube thumbnail. In real life, that bitch is 420 pounds. I mean, she is literally obese as fuck. She's got fat rolls hanging off of fat rolls. I kid you not. If you saw the real life version of her based on the fucking totally Photoshop fake ass looking thumbnail, you'd be like, Charlotte W., this bitch is fucking completely insane, thinking that she's just going to be able to pass off a picture that totally isn't her. Meanwhile, the bitch is super fat. And, you know, I ended up seeing her. And then I saw some other woman after a long time. I think it was actually, I don't know if these people are still on YouTube, but there was a girl named Punky. And she used to run with some big boned bitch. There was Punky and some other big boned nerd bitch. I forgot what her name was. But when I finally saw Punky's face after a while, I said, like, oh, she was nowhere near as attractive as I thought she would be. It's not that I didn't think this woman was still attractive. I think Ivana Punchy was still attractive. It's just that she came off, like I said, much more ghetto, much harder than I ever thought she was before. And I think even in one of her videos, she's doing what them ghetto girls do, which is talk about, oh, this bitch talks shit, and I beat this bitch, and this bitch don't want none of me. Like, I think she was actually doing that same ghetto girl stuff. And that hood rat shit, man, that shit gets old fast. Ain't nothing worse I hate listening to than to listen to some hood rat bitch talk shit about how she's gonna beat another hood rat bitch's ass. Since you're into fat one, but let's make Liz and Abby compete actually for who gets to meet Anderson and just acts like a queen. She wants to act like a princess, and Abby does the same shit. But I really think that earlier today, like I said, Liz was totally fantasizing and talking about, oh, what will happen if I come back. And the same thing would happen with other ex-girlfriends that I had over the years. Like if I would talk to this ex-girlfriend a couple of years later, we'd flirt or whatever for a while, for like a couple of weeks or a month, talking about, oh, what would happen if we get back together, he, and all the things that could happen. This is how Liz was talking again. Like I said, I mean, I just kind of scared her off, and she was on the hook. I could have had the bitch if I choose to be like, you know what, Liz, the reunion did what it did. It did the numbers it did. Should it do numbers? Let's say it doesn't do any numbers. Let's say nobody pays attention. It's like, you know what, Liz, it might be time for us to start thinking about where you're going to be going next. And, let the girl down easily and be like, don't do what you did last time. And fall so deeply in love with Anderson that when it's all over, you try to burn the house down. Yeah, no. She's always got some fucking gripe about it. I didn't mean Paul and roll until after I turned 18, but okay. Bitch, you met Paul before you were 18 years old. He came and met you like a couple of months before you turned 18 because you were graduating high school. You think I forgot what happened? And then you ended up moving down to motherfucking the West Coast. Wherever he lived out in Coeur d'Alene, you moved out there back here in like 2020. Liz is also a wigger, which is a huge downside. Man, I don't know. Believe it or not, the real Liz, like dealing with Liz on a daily basis, the real Liz is that no, she doesn't act that much like a wigger. She acts more like a country girl that likes to have a fatherly figure. This is why she's always dating old men, is because she likes to have a fatherly figure around. The bitch has daddy issues. And she always wants to have a spouse. Comfortable, but Liz is still totally in love with Anderson and based on how she was talking to me earlier, I felt like she would anyway. And I think that it's totally going to happen at some point. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll end up going down and let it, because Abby was talking to me as well about moving in with me, because Abby needs a place to move into coming up here in the next few months. Maybe in the next 3 to 6 months. Abby told me that she needed a place to live, and if she was going to move in with me, how she so lives, how this bitch Abby lives. Let me pull up what the fuck she said. And she was giving me I guess the parameters of what she lives like, and the fact that she, hold on, let me see. I am a grown 31-year-old woman, and if you are asking me to submit, then you have to be a man I, as a woman, would respect enough to submit to. Yeah, but after I saw Jesus Christ in person, I haven't been the same. Anyway, Abster, you know what I'm talking about. You were saying something about how you go to sleep at this hour and you do this and you do that, and I don't remember what the fuck you said. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I guess they should both understand that there is a competition going on right now between them that they don't even know about. This has been a very funny live stream so far, in my opinion. No, Liz isn't even fucking 21 years old yet, Kimmy. That's what I'm talking about. Is like all these people I meet, they're still not as young as Liz. The bitch is still young as shit. Next time Abby wants my money. Yeah, Abby wants money all the time. You don't need anything, Abster? I was about to give you some money. Nick said she looks 40. Laugh myself to her face. Liz will never be satisfied. She treats men at food very similarly. What, she chews them up and spits them out? What the fuck does that mean, Abbott family? Abby isn't but can you believe that? You know what? That's actually an amazing thing that happened today, Abster. I had Liz totally on the hook talking to me about, oh, what will happen if I move back with you, this and that? What will it be like? That's almost similar to the conversation I had with you earlier, Abby. Only your version of it wasn't as like, ha ha ha, like it wasn't as cute and playful as Liz. Like, I guess that's where, you know, her being 20 and you being 30 comes in. Abby was more serious about it. Like, you know, I go to sleep at this time and I don't know, maybe I cook this way or that. You know what I'm saying? Just telling me how she lives to run it by me to see if I'm comfortable with having to live with Abster, knowing that she might even go to sleep at 6:30 p.m. at night, basically insinuating to me that it's from 6:30 p.m. till the morning or whatever, basically telling me to shut up in my own fucking apartment if she was going to move in with me. Dude, I've already had to deal with Liz. This bitch stays up all fucking night, runs her goddamn mouth, fucking drinking loud, crashing into the walls, going in and out the house, slamming the door shut over and over again, leaving beer cans laying all over. I already know how that bitch lives. Abby's acting like she lives like a fucking 75-year-old woman in a nursing home would live. And I fucking have already seen Abster's videos, especially as of lately, where Abby will go live and she'll sit there talking it up, using heavy, almost vulgar body language. Like when she's talking, like you can tell this bitch is loaded. Either she's drunk or she's taking so many damn pills she feels like she's drunk. And I could tell Abby was that type of cat, but I was also thinking, you know what? Did I say this about you, Abster, about kissing your lips? I think it was you, but anyways, Abster had, maybe it wasn't her, I don't know, it might have been someone else, but Abster had lips, and I was talking about kissing Abster's lips earlier today, but like I said, it was probably someone else, Abby, that looks like you that I had said that to. I've never seen Abby. I saw Liz in a visit. She was like, you think Liz was hot? Well, I'm sure she'll like to hear that. She's now making fun of her ex-husband. Want to know why during probate? Now she begs on YouTube. Abster. Forget about it. Forget about what this guy says. Lots of bitches want to move in with Henderson. Henderson. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. There was a girl that was trying to move in with me last year, too. And I evaded her. And you all saw her a few times. Her name was Bobby. With a fucking I-E. And then, you know, this bitch Abby was up. Were you talking about? And then a year later, you know, Liz today was sitting there fantasizing, acting like it'd be her biggest dream come true that she gets to come back to Huntington, West Virginia and live with Henderson again. I mean, she was sitting there fantasizing, oh, what will happen if I do this, if I do that? Oh, my God, dude. And what Liz didn't understand, I guess, was earlier in the day, I had the same damn conversation. Not exactly the same way, but a similar conversation with Abster. But it wasn't as genuine as the one I had with Liz because Liz seemed like she still did fantasize about that because, like I said, I treated her like a fucking princess. I treated her like I was Prince Charming back in the day. And I knew Liz would never forget that because nobody on the planet has ever treated a human as good as I used to treat that bitch. And I knew that all these other crackheads that she's always with anyway, these guys ain't nothing but crackhead drug addicts anyway, and she was always going to want to come back for that good shit. I'm a gold standard when it came to being a very cherishing and adoring boyfriend. Abby mercilessly begs for money. Yeah, who gives a shit, man? Give her some money. Can you imagine Chad hustling all the oldies in the 55 plus community? I'll leave that to you, angry little redheaded stepchild. Abby Paul fuck. That's that. No, he didn't fuck her. He left her a few $100,000 and she blew the money. I mean, I know that. She doesn't deny that. When Paul Sylvain died, he left her a car. She ended up selling a house for like a couple $180,000, I think. Like $280,000. Bitch came out 400,000 or 500,000. Bought herself a little shitty apartment or whatever, rented it or whatever, got with this guy, blew all the money. This guy worked his ass off like 16 hours a day for most of their relationship, which is about 10 years long. And he eventually, got rid of her. She got rid of him. And now she might be moving in with Henderson if the Liz thing doesn't go through. I don't know. I mean, like I said, at this point, I think either Abby or Liz is going to be living with Henderson, coming up in the next 2 to 6 weeks. Yeah, she was verbally and mentally abusive, wasn't she? Yeah. Me and Liz will always be together in your heart. Let's see. What is this text about, everybody? Much. We're going to give your channel a shout out. We love Kimmy too much over here at the Anderson Henderson program. Can someone please show me who Abby is? Look, I'll just show you her channel. I'll just play it for you. On my cracked ass phone. You know what? Her channel is called The Legacy of Paul Savang, which is a really shitty channel name. It's a really shitty channel name, but she needs to change it back to something easier to find. This is fucking Abster right here. Let me enlarge her fucking picture. Look, this is Abster. Now that's her when I guess she's got makeup on or she's got her hair done or some shit. I mean, she doesn't look like that normally. Let me show you what her ass looks like normally. Now, you know what? She was looking better. She didn't look that bad, recently. I was just watching a live stream of her from like a couple of weeks ago. And I was looking at her face and looking at her body. And I'm like, you know what? She's went through bad phases before. where she really did not look that great. But now I was looking at her, I was like, you know what? Based on what I'm seeing on her channel from all the lives and all the recent pictures, I think that Abster's looking good. And didn't even look at her. I mean, this is basically what her face has been looking like for like the past year. You can see a bunch of different thumbnails. Shit, this fucking thing isn't working very well. Anyway, you can see a bunch of thumbnails of Abster from like the past year. And you know what? No, she's been looking pretty good. I mean, especially last summer, I thought she was looking pretty decent. She had on some sundresses or some shit, but she needed more of a tan. And her skin does not tan while she looks better in low light. And I didn't even see what she looked like recently before I had decided that I would potentially want to lock myself into a sexual situation with Abster and let her move in with me for the first time. Which, of course, like I said, she's in competition with Liz to move in. And I think Liz was super close to moving in. Like, honestly, right now, after the conversation that I had with Liz earlier, dude, by now I could have already went and got her at her fucking crib, which she lives about 5 hours away. And Liz could have already been here to do the reunion, which would have been big numbers. All right, let me play one of Abby's live streams. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking filters. She's busted looking. She might be busted looking. I don't know. Let me actually see if I can. She didn't want to show her face in it, but she's got a video. Or maybe it's from a couple of months ago. Then let me go back to like 2 months ago, where she's got a video where she's standing there, and I don't know if she's loaded on drugs. Let's see if Abby was on drugs or if she was just talking shit. Abster, you know what I'm talking about. She did a Thanksgiving video.
Poor old
All right, this is Abster.
They were well within their
do you think she looks busted now?
To do what was necessary at the time the incident occurred. But poor old Henderson, like I said about him, he was out there screaming, trying to get the news to acknowledge him and regarding to him being choked in the Huntington Police Department for no doubt. They've been real patient with him, real patient. And
she's telling me they've been patient. Abby, don't side against me. She's sitting here saying she's siding with the police against me about how patient they were. She was making these fucking videos while I was locked up in jail for months and months. This bitch didn't even try to bail me out. Motherfucking Liz was trying to convince me that she was actually calling the jail to check on me to make sure I was all right. Like, I know damn well Liz wasn't putting that type of effort into me. But honestly, today, like I said, I almost talked her to coming back to do this big reunion. So, she said Abby gross. Like, Abby is what she is, man. Yeah, she does look like that monster serial killer that they made a movie about with Charlize Theron. Abby is now massaging her grandfather's feet, and I'm no longer relevant. Hey, what's up, Mahashtrash? Where are you from again, Mahashtrash? Are you from Texas? Look, Abster's been on YouTube for a long time, even way longer than me. You know, she was in a bunch of magazines about 20 years ago. About 15 to 20 years ago, Abby was in a bunch of magazines, and she was famous because she was in a relationship with a fucking 57-year-old man while she was only 16. And they put her in a fucking magazine for it. And then when she was motherfucking 18, she ended up moving to the West Coast with this cat. Motherfucker was already like 60 years old by then. And then they ended up getting married. His ass died about 10 weeks after that. She ends up inheriting his house and all that shit. She gets about 300,000 to 400,000 because she ends up selling all that shit, liquidating that shit. The fuck she spend all that money on? She just kind of blew through it. About 300,000 to 400,000 in the course of a couple of years. She ends up getting this new boyfriend, Marcus, about 10 years back. Motherfucking Marcus turned out to be homosexual. He ends up getting butt fucked by about 15 to 16 guys, all on video on her phone or on his phone. She comes back from out of town, being out of town a couple months, finds the phone, finds that her boyfriend, Marcus, who she loved with all her heart, was a bottom for gay butt sex. And he loved to record it with his phone. So Abby finds that out. She says, fuck that guy, eventually gets rid of him and moves back to North Carolina, only 5 hours away from Anderson, Henderson. So if me and Abby actually get together, and who knows, maybe we even end up having a child together, it will be an amazing love story that started out, hey, you started out in a bad situation in life. Your boyfriend was having gay butt sex with a bunch of big black guys, and you ended up thinking life was over, thinking you were down and out, but it's a comeback story because then, there was a happy ending to it. So we'll see what happens with that. And the type of chemistry, the type of entertainment quality that would come out of Anderson, Henderson, living in the same house as Abster or the same apartment or whatever it may be. I think that is potentially going to be even way bigger than any of the huge views that I used to get with Liz. And it would be even bigger than if Liz came back for a reunion with Anderson, Henderson. Yeah, Abby does. She kind of seems like she'll probably be digging through the car, through the ashtray for some loose change. That's what all those motherfuckers do. Any dude that you ever hire to move your stuff, of course they're going to go into your belongings and take some trash. When you go out here to a restaurant or some shit, you got a so-called parking attendant or whatever getting in your motherfucking car. You might even tip this guy most of the time, or you might supposed to be tipping the guy. This motherfucker will go into your car, take change out of your car, go through your glove box. These piece of shit mechanics, how you take your car to a mechanic, think the guy's going to work on the fucking car. The mechanic's going through your glove box, digging under the seats, looking for change too, looking for drugs. These mechanics out here take all the shit out of your motherfucking car, and you dumbass fucking sheep out here, you sheep will just go and drive your car up to a mechanic or drive your car up to one of these detailers, which is just some piece of shit bum that works at a fucking car wash, and you let him get into your car with his nasty, greasy ass, acting like that's going to make your car cleaner because he brings in some shitty little sweeper with barely any pressure in it to vacuum the shit out. And what these people coming in there with cars that you ain't going to be able to get that shit clean anyway. They got babies throwing up all over their cars. They're fucking people in the back of their cars, coming all over the carpet of their car, banging hookers in their car, spilling drugs in their car, spilling McDonald's in their car. And they want to go and pay some fucking crackhead dude getting paid $10 an hour at a car wash to get in there and I'm going to get my car fixed up. I'm heading down there to get my car detailed. Fucking losers. I hate guys that do that. And that's how they fill up their day. That's how they fill up their days in this world, is by doing shit like that. Let's go hang out at the fucking car wash for fucking half an hour. Let's give the guy $10 to sit there and clean out this piece of shit car. He needs to take the whole fucking car. And I'm actually talking about a specific YouTuber that would do this too. And the guy's still on here too. His name is Mac Truck, the Mac Truck. And he fucking does that. It's like his videos would be like, every fucking time, let's go make a video in front of the car wash. I'm having the car cleaned out again for $5 or $10. Let's go make the video there so it looks like I'm actually doing something. Then all this guy would do is drive back to his crib anyway. He wasn't doing shit except going to get his car cleaned out. So it's clean for him to drive to and from the fucking car wash. He wasn't doing shit else. He was neglecting his kids as well. You think Camilo has private massage streams with Abston? I don't know about that. I think Abster and John Camillo used to fuck each other back in the day. Ain't that right, Abby? And she used to come talking to me about him like fucking 10 years ago. Abby thinks I don't remember that she used to come up to me talking about, oh, this guy John Camillo, I was fighting with him about this and that. Oh, I thought he liked me. I thought, yeah, you were even telling me about some sexual stuff that he had done to you, Abster. Some sexual stuff that John Camillo had said to you or whatever. Because I felt like you were dating him at the time. Maybe at the time me and you were not so hot and heavy, though I had dated Abster a couple of times off and on throughout that time. And you were always coming to me trying to make me jealous or some shit, which I never was, of this guy, John Camillo, and you made him out to be a complete psychopath. Then I met the actual guy, and he was just like a kind of a regular old guy, a funny guy, I guess. But she made him out to be a complete psychopath murderer. So that was my initial impression of John Camillo for a few years. If you listen to that New Jersey cocksucker on this live stream yesterday morning or whenever he was on here a couple days ago, he sounds like a nice old grandfather. So, Abby, you totally distorted and twisted my perception of that old man. Motherfucker, you didn't find no envelope with $20,000 in it, and you definitely didn't give it back to the guy. If you found an envelope with $20,000 on it, your ass would have been on a camel back to fucking Mexico where you look like you came from, Chris. Or whatever your fucking name is, Nick. I don't even know this fucker's name. I'm calling him Chris. The bitch's name is Nick. And he's up here saying he found $20,000 and gave it back, dog. I genuinely hate the old man. She genuinely hates John Camillo. You grew up, but he had more than Chad? Napoleon Bonaparte, shut the fuck up. You have no idea what this is all about anyway. And Mahash Trahash says they're from fucking California. I mean, weather-wise, California's a pussy-ass state. You all ain't got to go through no hard fucking winters. California don't really go through no hard nothing. California probably ain't even got no fucking tornadoes or nothing. California is a pussy-ass state when it comes to weather. Now, sure, they got gangs and I guess they got a little bit of heat. Maybe it's like a desert, or maybe they got problems with getting good water or whatever. But like realistically though, California, other than the gangs and whatnot, it's just a fucking pussy ass state. Fucking Florida. Like I said, with the fucking Cubans coming over and all the Guatemalans or whatever, Florida's a dangerous state too. There's a lot of color in Florida. But realistically, weather-wise, it's a bitch-ass state. The hard states are like a state I'm from, like West Virginia. Bitch, it gets cold enough here to kill you every fucking year. It's that cold like fucking 3 to 6 months out of the year. In West Virginia, it's cold enough that if you ain't indoors with some heat on, you're going to freeze to death. That's how fucking cold it is in West Virginia where I'm from. Fucking North Dakota. Bitch, in North Dakota, like 8 or 9 months out of the year in the state of North Dakota, it's cold enough to kill you. And it'll kill you fast. These other people from these pussy-ass states down south, fucking pussy-ass Texas, bitch. You know how fucking hard it is to die from the weather in Texas? Super hard. It's easy to die from a fucking illegal Mexican there, I guess, coming over slitting your throat. You were trying to sleep outside or whatever, but it's not dangerous as far as weather. It's a bunch of pussy shit there as far as weather goes. That's a hardness that a human gains from being in that type of weather that these other humans don't have. You can put me up against any California motherfucker that has ever been bred and raised in California. The hardness I have coming from a state like West Virginia that gets so cold and hard every year, I have a level and a deep of hardness that nobody from from Texas ever had it. I mean, we gain a hardness to us, much like Eskimo guys do to, they end up living out here and it's super cold and they end up just getting used to it and, that kind of can handle that type of coldness. I have been hardened off cold weather like that growing up here, and then also the heat as well. I mean, West Virginia is an extremely hot state when it's hot. This is a fucking unforgiving state. But a very strange thing that happened is I haven't actually had the flu for about 10 years. Last time I actually got sick, bitch, I haven't even had really a cold in about 10 motherfucking years. The last time I got sick was like 2015. 2015 to 2016. That was probably like 8 years ago. That's the last time I got sick or I got the flu or anything. I never got COVID one time, dog. I never got one symptom of COVID. So I think 10 years ago, I was bit by a radioactive spider or some shit like that. And it gave me this immunity to all of these airborne illnesses or whatever that popped up, especially since COVID popped up in 2020. Bitch, I haven't been getting sick since 5 years before COVID popped up. And I haven't gotten sick after. And I've been locked in jails. I've been locked in fucking mental hospitals with a bunch of sick, fucked up people that keep coughing all over the place, and they're fucking dirty ass people that don't wash their hands when they use the bathroom, and they're just uneducated, low hygiene type people. They locked me in with these pigs, with these animals, knowing, and you can tell just by listening to me talk, that I am intellectually superior. I'm intellectually superior to not just all the motherfuckers that work there that were in these types of places, including the jails and the hospitals and whatnot. I'm intellectually superior to most people in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? If there's 350 million fucking people in America, I'm certainly one of the top 1 million or even one of the top 100,000, I would say, most intellectually capable people that is even on the planet right now. So anyway, West Virginia has the worst economy in the country. It's basically non-existent. Great. Yeah, I know what Botter's from West Virginia. Yeah, I always knew that. Raising havoc from West Virginia. Bitch, the food wasn't shit. Everybody knows that jail food truly sucks. And then on FBI report was filed because of your entrapment ultimatums to me and violating your probation. Well, I don't even know what the hell that means. So, do mental hospitals in the U.S. allow patents to use their smartphones? The rules in mental wards in Israel are lax. Everyone's online all day and bringing in drugs from outside. I don't think so. There's no drugs in these places. I mean, they go through great lengths to make sure that there isn't any. Nah, Botter's not in here. I don't think that guy comes around anymore. No, I'm never talking to Michigan Made again. The guy's not down to do anything. He never wants to show up. And I don't know. I think Michigan Made is just a severe drug addict. I used to think he was a drug dealer back when I was dealing with that guy. And I'm not even sure he's still on YouTube either. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should do that, but it's just funnier when you deal with people that, look like that, act like Abster. They want me to find new people to deal with, and I agree with that. We're going to have to make that happen. I don't know. I just feel a lot of disconnection in the community these days. feel these people are not as connected as they used to be, like this father and his son.
Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Beautiful. That man really loves his son.
Hey, nigga, all bad.
Get the J. Rick on my 30 yard.
I got cuss bad.
You ain't gonna be able to bite on me.
How the Spurs say?
Fuck Spurs.
That first word?
No.
Yo, bomb ass out there.
Damn.
Let's do it again. Do it again.
Stop now. Stop.
Quit playing, y'all. Damn. That's enough.
Stop, nigga.
Move, man. Quit playing. Ain't nothing to you.
You know, those guys are fighting again. Those are some of the greatest clips I've ever had before. A couple of black midgets fighting. I need to get some new clips. I don't think that see, that's what happens on YouTube is you'll have a guy who's like Botter, like a guy who's sensational like that, and then guys will come in here and still accuse the guy of being around, like literally even years after the guy's been gone out of the game. That guy Botter's gone for good. He was around a few years ago. He swatted me and almost got me killed. He swatted a lot of guys we knew. The FBI ended up talking to him or whatever. And, you know, that was the end of it. He didn't really mess around with anyone anymore. And that's the story of Botter. And Botter was always a dangerous guy, but he always respected Henderson. And that is what everybody should always remember. Everybody make sure that you call and leave messages for Henderson, call or text. You know what I'm saying? Cash App, PayPal. And this was a great program tonight, everybody. And make sure you tune in next time for the Henderson program. And I love all my fans. Thank you.
I'm just a nice boy who smokes weed.